Why did I almost become atheist 5 years ago? There were 3 reasons: fear, shame, and sexuality. If you want to hear me talk about these topics further, please continue watching. About 5 years ago, I tried killing myself multiple different times. If it wasn't for me being in the state of Massachusetts, mental health being so acceptable and available, I probably would not be where I am today. I'm super grateful for my parents, for my family, amazing healthcare at companies that I worked for. If you are right now having severe anxiety attacks, if you are in a state of depression, you're having suicide thoughts, seek help now. Confide in a friend, confide in a family member, confide in me, confide in anyone. There's a help number I'm going to put down in the comment section. Contact that number. I want you to get help. I want you to know that there is plenty of love here for you in this world. The number one reason why I wanted to become an atheist was because of the lack of love and the immense presence of fear. I wasn't connected because there was a lot of fear in the way of my faith, my openness to love. I didn't feel love at home. I didn't feel love at work. I didn't feel love anywhere. I felt unworthy of love, a huge driver in me wanting to denounce my religion. The second thing that drove me to further solidify that I didn't want to have a religion anymore was shame. I felt like I was being shamed for being hairy or for being too dark or for being too outspoken or being too stubborn. I just was being shamed from all different parts of my life. So I just didn't feel safe. Every time I felt like I was going to an event that had to do with faith or people of faith, I always felt judged. I always felt that the things that I was doing was not what religious people were doing. One of my friends told me she didn't think I was religious. With her saying that I wasn't religious, wasn't she passing judgment onto me? And if she's passing judgment onto me, isn't that against her faith? Especially Muslim women that don't cover their hair or their body. You always feel like Muslim women that are covering their heads, that are covering their bodies, that there's a lot of judgment immensely around women who are covering up and men who think women should cover up. If I wanted to have faith, that I had to prove myself to be worthy of other people's acceptance, and the only way I was going to get that acceptance is if I looked like them and acted like them. The third thing that drove me away from organized religion was hypocritical sexuality. Feminine sexuality is highly taboo, almost like women are not supposed to find enjoyment in this act at all. Population in this world is increasing, not because all of these women are being forced into repopulation, but because women are wanting this for themselves as well. Masculine sexuality is considered masculinity. In Pakistan, travel in a public transportation bus, you can be getting fingered through the back seat. Somebody that's driving by on their bike, they smack your behind as they're driving by. Things like that happen all the time, and we make it okay because we're like, oh, the woman was putting herself out there. This whole mentality of she was wearing the miniskirt so she deserved to get raped, I think needs to stop. We need to put an end to this bullshit. Women need to own their sexuality, and the only way is by showing what healthy sexuality actually looks like. A man talking to me about my sexuality or a woman talking to me about my sexuality, they were just telling me what not to do, how not to behave, what not to do. Some of the reasons why I really felt that I needed to denounce my religion was because there was many things that I didn't agree with anymore. Like, I believe in gay rights. I believe in equality for men and women. I want to talk to you about some solutions now because we've discussed the problem long enough. So number one thing I would like to talk about is any adult woman or man who is wanting to be a parent or is thinking about being a parent or is already a parent. It is now your responsibility to demonstrate healthy sexuality in your home. It's your responsibility to figure out what that looks like and show that to your kids, because they will find what sexuality is through porn. That's the number one way men and women are both discovering sexuality, and it's a really demented way to discover something that's supposed to be a very nurturing, expansive experience of a human's life. Instead of allowing porn to lead your child's ideas about sex, you need to be the one who needs to start forming their ideas about sex and about their private parts, because there are perpetrators will and can come after your child. I've heard now several stories of female children being molested by their gaudy sobs or little boys being molested by their priests, spread out throughout all sorts of organized religion. This is not just a problem in Islam. This is through all organized religion. The next thing that I want to talk about is empathy and compassion versus sympathy. If you're the one that's in shame, change your inner conversation to guilt. Give yourself guilt. Rather than making yourself bad, as in like, I am a mistake, say that I did a mistake. That's the difference between shame and guilt. And the way you can change for yourself is by switching to a guilt concept inside yourself. And what you can do for others that are coming to you is to open up your empathy and your compassion. When somebody is in shame and you have recognized that they're in shame because they're doing one of two things. They're either puffing up or they're shriveling down. So there's one person who will puff up and scream and yell and shout, and the other person who will shut their doorroom and stay quiet for months. If you have recognized that somebody is in shame, the best thing you can do now, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, whether it's anyone, is to open your gates of empathy. The biggest thing we are confused about is the difference between empathy and sympathy. Sympathy is when I am feeling bad for you, and empathy is when I have felt bad as well and I understand. These are two different things. So many of us have this concept confused. The third solution that I would like to offer, and this is the last thing that I will offer in this video today, is to cultivate joy, fun, and to cultivate calm. These three things are highly underrated. Allowing yourself to lean into joy when you are receiving the bounties of life. How do you lean into joy? Most of us, we're just waiting for the next bad thing to happen. Don't laugh too much because something bad's gonna happen now. No, allow yourself to lean into joy and show your children how they can lean into joy. Lean into calm. What does it mean to be calm? If you're so calm all the time that you're in a straitjacket, what does it mean to cultivate fun and play for you? If you constantly playing and having fun, what does it mean to be calm for you? And what does that look like for you? I really want to quickly sum everything up, why the three things that I'm talking about are so important to me. I needed to feel love, to feel connected to my faith. I needed to feel guilt to change my bad habits. I needed to feel sexuality to want to become a mother, to help raise responsible adults in the society rather than creating more adult babies. I just went through the three reasons why I almost denounced religion altogether, almost became an atheist a few years ago. When I was suicidal, I was seeking mental help because I was suicidal. So I was doing talk therapy and I was also given pharmaceutical medication. A few months went by with that. I was doing a lot of EMDR therapy, which is rapid eye movement therapy, to help me combat some of these emotions that I had. As I'm talking to you about this, I'm realizing that with doing EMDR therapy, I was able to purge through a lot of my shame and find worthiness and belonging for myself. It manifested itself in 5 years and I'm so happy. I was sharing with my husband that I would kill now before I would try to take my life. If somebody tried killing me, I would fight back. Life is so important to me now. Like, living is so important to me now. I'm so grateful that I get to live this life every day. Happy tears, happy tears. Don't worry, it's just all happy tears. So I want to talk about solutions because I have gone through all of these things and I still want to be a mother. I'm not just going to have the option to have a daughter or a son, but I might get a daughter or a son. At first, my fears were related more towards my daughter because I knew how hard life had been for me living as a woman in this world. The more difficult thing for me was to figure out how I can raise a boy to be a gentleman, to be a responsible male adult. That's really difficult too. All right, that's it. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. I share myself with you every single day over there. I hope to see you there. Take care. I hope you have a beautiful day. Peace be with you.